Not sure what's going on, but I don't think it's someone's alarm. G'day. This week again I'm taking you to a couple of low cost or free campsites in and around Melbourne, not too far out, and also give you a couple of tips that might be worth knowing as well. Anywho, let's go. I'm about just over a kilometre one way west probably of Powelltown Caravan Park, and what a lot of the kids and the adults they do is they walk up here carrying a lilo or a old tube, inner tube, and then they'll jump in the river and then float all the way down, or others will just jump and swim in the water, in the creek. Does look like a lot of fun, I've got to say. And you know, it's free. How good's that? I'm camping in this most delightful little town called Powelltown. The whole industry around this town is built on the sawmill or the timber mill, and currently it's still operational. So you'll see amongst the timber that's actually laying there dormant, they're spraying water on it. And the reason they do that is they don't want the wood to buckle. So I always used to think it was something else. There you go. Great little town. Now the camping is basically free camping with a donation, and the donation goes to the pub, and the pub is called Powelltown, which is a nice little name. And amazingly enough, and it's not for any other reason, but I'm camping here, my sister-in-law, her great-grandparents actually were the people who ran the mill, and so their surname is all around town, so it's quite an amazing thing. Definitely would recommend to come and stay here. Back in about 1910, 1920, these bogies were typical of what they used to transport the wood out of the forest to the various sawmills. Now, one time there was in the area, in the Upper Yarra area, there was 300 sawmills. That's almost hard to imagine. And the reason that happened was easier to take the sawmill to the timber rather than get the timber, bring it all the way out in that way. So 300, that's a lot. And obviously had a really big population. Now the Powelltown sawmill, initially what they did was they built little tin huts for single man, and they would build slightly bigger for families. And what they would do then was they would rent out to the workers so they had somewhere to stay. And obviously then the sawmill could dictate the terms and conditions, but at least they had somewhere to put their head down. Now, one of the other types of logging, I'll need to look it up for you, but I will tell you, and basically there are, I think they're called a high rise or something similar to that. But basically what the guys would do, and we're talking 50 metres up, they would climb up and with an axe put a little slit in the side, put a panel of wood, they would then stand on that and they would keep going on the way up. They would go all the way up, and that's a massive height. I saw a picture of it in the local old historical book there, and I thought, oh, it seems like every day would be a suicide mission. But these guys, they had to work, and they were okay with it. So quite a history. The other thing with these bogies, initially, the tracks were made of wood. Now that's hard to imagine, but well, mostly when they had the wooden tracks, the horses were pulling the bogies, or small trains or bullock. And then eventually what happened was they wanted to build a line into Yarra Junction, and the council said, well, or the government said, well, we'll let you do it, but you have to have a passenger aspect to it. So they put the passenger aspect, but believe me, that wasn't too much luxury to get from here to out to Yarra Junction. Some of the kids, when they went to school, they would go that way. And the final thing I want to tell you is when they used to have a ball, a lot of people way back in the sort of the turn of the century, 1900s, 1910, they didn't have transport. They certainly didn't have cars. Some of them well off would have like a sulky or something like that. But the majority, if they knew that there was a ball coming up or a to-do, the women would dress themselves up in all their fancy, and then they would walk to the hall, and that could be some distance. And the other women could tell where they've come from, where they've walked from, by the colour of the bottom of their dresses, because the dresses were very long then. On the bottom of the dresses, they could recognise the colour of the clay or the dirt and said, oh, she's come from Gilderoy, or she's come from Three Bridges or whatever. So, all quite fascinating. Just want to share this with you. Check this out. It's a walk. It's called the Reed's Tramline Walk, or the Walk into History. Now the Walk into History is 2 to 3 days on a rough track and very steep. That's for the real dedicated. But even if you only just do the beginning of this, the Reed's Tramline Walk, the full one takes 3 to 4 hours. It's 6 kilometres, very steep, very rough. But if you're up to it, it's nice just at the beginning of here, that's literally on the road. And I'll show you a couple of old piece of timber on tracks, railway track things. That's how to find it, and it's just as you're coming into Powelltown. Yeah, watch out for it. I'm sure you'll see it. Got a little toilet facilities there as well. So yeah, I went part of it the other day. It was really nice. You walk over a little stream and you walk up some organised steps. What happens after that? Well, I'd imagine it gets pretty wild. I'm in Gum Campground, or Gum Bum, or I'm not sure what it is. I'll give you the details down the bottom. I drove in here the other day with a caravan. What on earth I was thinking. It's a monster to bring in, and the road's narrow. It's not even a road, it's a track, and all sorts of dramas. I've got a bit of footage for you for that. Basically this is ideal for a little maybe roof topper, definitely great for a tent and all those other things. Now the other thing is, for those people who know me, it takes a massive amount for me to give up on something, but I spent the last couple of hours trying to find a thing, an area called Wombalana Falls for the life of me. I feel like I've been everywhere, but I just cannot get there, so you're just going to have to take my word that it's a really nice place to go. And if you get an opportunity and you manage to discover it, please let me know. I'd love to know how to have got there. Anywho, we're just taking this place. It's really outstanding. And the birds. And the massive trees. The trees just go on forever. The average tree here would be 50 metres high, I guess. Just backing up and calling it a day.
Yeah. It's a smart car to bring down.
Yeah, you got one, and she was pregnant.
Really?
Like about 6 or 7 months pregnant.
Oh wow. It's funny here.
You have a copy in National Park?
Yeah, we do.
Bit late for me to call this, but hopefully I can turn around in here.
Yeah, I think it is a bit late to call it now, but yep, give it a go.
Here's a random tip for you. You know when you've got the trolley and you're probably a bit concerned about letting it roll away and hit another car or hit your own car? What I always tend to do is turn it round so the head of the trolley is sitting against the tyre. This one's a bad design, but generally most of the trolleys, they'll sit nice and tidy up against the wheel. So save it running away on you. Good morning, top of the morning to you. Now I'm at the Great Victorian Rail Trail. I'm just out of Yea. There is this place called Etiquette Tunnel. I'm just about to take you to it. Oh, way too early in the morning for me. I've just left Yea, and it turns out that it says it's only about 3 kilometres. Hate to be walking those 3 kilometres. I'll give you a more accurate distance when I get back in the car. Meanwhile, let's go and check out this Great Victorian Rail Trail. And that's what I was looking at. I was looking at that sign. Just wanted to get the name right. I'm standing in front of Etiquette Tunnel. Now, back in the day, it was used to transport wood from Murrindindi down to Melbourne, and there was a lot of timber going down that way. Now, the way it was transported was using tram cars. Those tram cars were pulled by horses, so it was would have been quite a trip. There were 6 mills in the Murrindindi area that actually supplied that wood. Nowadays, mountain bikes scoot through here, and this is one little section that has a beautiful made and tarred road on it, so it must be real luxury before they get into the grind of their mountain biking across the valleys and the hills. Apologies for the creepy look of this, but basically I'm inside the Etiquette Tunnel, and the acoustics are pretty amazing. And if you're worried about suffering from claustrophobia, there's no way known you're going to suffer inside this. That's fine. I can just imagine the trams and the trains coming through here. The sound something like woo, something like that. I don't know.
Right, with this little rake, sometimes you get to a camping area and there's little sticks and all that. Instead of going around picking them all up, which is a bit of a pain, if you've got one of those, which go to Bunnings, you can get one. It's got the full extension, I've got the full handle. They're probably about $5. So rip the handle off and fits in the car, fits in the van, even fits if you're taking the tent. So an example is if you just want to rake up this to clean it up, because you've got everything here, people have chopped our kindling and it's ready to go. What more could you want? Give it a shake and you've only got kindling. Well, we've got a bit more than that in this one. Well, there you are. Hopefully this week those couple of campsites that are low cost and or free are of some use to you, and you can save yourself a little bit of money, a bit more money to spend on the diesel, petrol, or whatever else you want to. Now, if you found the video useful, helpful and or entertaining, please give it a thumbs up. If you think the video is worth sharing, that too would be great. And until next time, this is Paul Wheel Drive signing off.